Over the past year and a half of playing Geometry Dash, I have accumulated 60 extreme demons, all with their own stories, roadblocks, funny moments, and triumphs I experienced while beating them. Every time I beat an extreme demon and upload the video to my YouTube channel, I write a really long description that sometimes even hits the maximum character limit of 5,000, but nobody ever reads them. I totally understand why, because nobody wants to sit there reading a giant blob of text when you could be beating an extreme demon yourself. That is why I created this video, so you can hear the interesting backstories behind all 60 extreme demons I have beaten, because trust me, they get interesting. While you may find more information in my wordy YouTube descriptions, I included many facts here that I have never told anyone before. Prepare to join me on this epic journey of extreme demons and hear about my experiences from tragic deaths to victorious completions, and everything in between. I present you 2 facts about every extreme demon I have beaten. Aku. It was my first extreme demon and I beat it on a 60Hz Mac laptop. Deception Dive. It is my hardest completion on 60Hz before switching to 240, and I experienced a weird glitch during the completion attempt where my game paused for no reason without showing the pause menu, and I somehow recovered after fixing the issue despite it happening right before a difficult section. Allegiance. This was my 200th demon in a challenge where I did a demon of every difficulty as my last 5 demons up to 200, getting increasingly difficult. I also clutched up and beat it a few hours before I had to go on a 2-week vacation where I couldn't bring my computer. Bloodbath. I had made substantial progress on it on 60Hz, having 51 and getting the level in 2 runs, but I beat it 2 days after switching to 240Hz. I also took 36k attempts on it, 35k of which being on 60Hz, making it the most attempts I have ever spent on a level. Cataclysm. I beat it on the same day as I beat Bloodbath after I ended the livestream, but didn't get a recording of it because I didn't know how OBS worked. I also had died trying to get the last coin on it earlier that day before my Bloodbath completion. Fish God Mode. I died to the difficult last click 3 times, and my clipping software didn't record my clicks when I beat it. Prismatic Haze. It was my favorite extreme demon in the game at the time I beat it, and I had a death to a free click at 97, but never died to the infamous last click. Carcano. I struggled really hard to beat this because of a bug at 47% caused by the slope physics changes in 2.2. This bug caused me to die there around 50% of the time, and it was the first time I got really mad at a level. Carcano was also my shortest-lived hardest, as I beat Endless Dream the next day. Endless Dream. I went for this after I saw my friend beat it as their hardest as a jump from an easy extreme. I also had the strangest luck on this, never dying past 59% besides an unfortunate 97% death to a misplaced hitbox and a 91% death to the last cube. Even with the far fails, I was extremely lucky not to die to the duel or any drop parts past 59%. Ozurite. I died to the bugged duel over 10 times from 0, which destroyed my enjoyment of an otherwise fine level. Also, when I beat the level, my friend destroyed my reaction by saying cringy brain rot. Daydream. I beat this 5 minutes after I beat Ozurite, and I beat Acropolis about 15 minutes later. I also fluked it from 65, which was my best fluke at the time. Warning. I never died to the last cube, which I found incredibly difficult and inconsistent. This was also one of my favorite levels when I beat it, and I really enjoyed playing it. Red World. I died to the last ship 4 times and had a lot of trouble with the swing copter. I also clipped my completion too early and didn't show the end screen, so I can't get in a Reddle record for it despite having a legitimate video with clicks. Monster Cat. I had randomly gotten 56 on it on 60Hz a long time ago on my old laptop as a fluke from somewhere in the pre-drop, but I couldn't get back to the drop, so I saved it for later. When I did go back to it when I switched to 240 Hz, I had some of the worst luck I had ever had on a level, and died to the ending section 10 times. Some of the deaths were understandable because of the end of the choke point, but most of them were just my garbage luck. Forbidden Isle. I beat it less than 5 minutes after my friend beat it as their hardest, when I was seeing if I could beat it before them. I also had terrible luck on it, and had a skill issue with the last ship, dying to it 3 times. The Fish. My recording software had a strange issue with the completion that caused only my audio to be recorded, so you can't hear my friends talking in the Discord call, and it sounds like I'm talking to no one. When I beat this, my reaction was, I beat the fish demon, due to an inside joke with some of my friends. Wavix Club. This was the top 1 level on the Wavix levels list at the time I beat it, and I also had really bad audio on my completion video due to a lawnmower being right outside my window and some talking in the background. The Flawless. My clipping software bugged out on this and didn't record my completion when I beat it. I also beat the level while I was taking a 10-minute break from doing schoolwork in the middle of the day when I didn't expect to beat anything. Chroma 2. On the stream I beat it, there was a new person in my chat who I had never seen before named Tablix. But I would later get to know him very well, and he is now one of my best friends at Geometry Dash, who I talk to every day. I also beat it right after I switched to using a SEO device, which boosted my consistency immediately. Hateful Reflection. I wanted to go for this as my hardest back when my hardest was Bloodbath, but I struggled with the gameplay on mouse and decided to wait until I got a SEO device or better keyboard to go for the level. This is also my second favorite 9 Circles level, behind Cosmic Cyclone. B times 20. I somehow fluked the level from 60, which was my best ever fluke and the world record fluke for the level. This is even more impressive because the ending carries the difficulty, and most victors get incredibly unlucky with the last parts of the level. This was also my hardest when I beat it, and I had just beaten Chroma 2 as a new hardest 2 or 3 days before. Chop Step. I beat this because I saw Aeon Air's completion of it and thought it looked fun. I also died to a bug at the last click, which is supposed to be a buffer, but it is possible to die to a saw blade if you do the previous wave click wrong. 1330X. I died to the really easy last orb spam at 98 for no reason before I beat the level. I was also really consistent at the level and got 72 on the attempt before the completion. Catalyze. I originally started playing this level back when my hardest was only Endless Dream, and despite the large jump in difficulty from what I was used to, I made really good progress at first and even fluked an 84% run out of nowhere. I also had a really bad experience beating this, even though I really liked the level itself, due to my bad luck with the ending and the second half of the level in general. Moment. My completion video for this has a comment from popular streamer Chopblocks saying, "At least no 96, referring to his unfortunate death at 96 due to accidentally clicking in the end screen. He likely found this video because I sent it in the self-promo channel of his Discord server. I also found the level way easier than popular belief, and thought it was around future Demon Machine difficulty, which is placed at 808 on a Reddle, and took me more attempts to beat than Moment. False. It was the first 2.2 Extreme Demon I ever beat, and I almost fluked it but died to the last triple spike due to skill issue. Chill Putty. I beat this randomly while I was in a call with some friends who weren't familiar with GD, and they were confused at my reaction to beating this because they had no idea how significant it was. I also never got a recording of my completion because my clipping didn't work when I beat it, and I died to the end a lot trying to re-beat it, and eventually gave up after dying to the last click. Explicit. I never told anyone I was going for this until I beat it, and my friends were so confused when I beat it in call, and they had never known I was playing it.
I just beat Explicit.
What?
I just beat Explicit.
I didn't even know you were playing Explicit. What the heck?
I also fluked the level from 71%, which is kind of good for the condensed difficulty of the level. The Lost Existence. I originally wanted to beat this as my first extreme demon, but couldn't do it because of some of the hard parts in the level, and I struggled to pass the cube/robot section at 37%. I also never died past 50% besides a death to nerves at 94%. Chromatic Haze. This was my hardest at the time of beating it, and it has not only been my favorite extreme demon, but my favorite level in Geometry Dash since playing it. The gameplay is so consistent and satisfying to play, and the decoration is just perfection. Chief Needler. This is my only platformer extreme demon, which causes me to always forget about it when thinking of the extremes I've beaten. I also didn't get any footage of the completion because I didn't know how to record a platformer level, along with the fact that my game crashed halfway through and I had to no-clip back to where I was. The Cinnabon. I beat this really late at night, around 10 p.m., which is way later than I can usually beat extreme demons, and I usually get off Geometry Dash by 8 p.m., but I somehow stayed consistent with this and beat it that night. I also found the level to be significantly easier than people say, with its Arretto placement making it harder than Stalemate Redux. I personally found this about as hard as Blade of Justice, and I did not think it was the third hardest for me, even though it technically was. I only took 2,000 attempts on it, which is a fraction of the attempts I spent on other levels of that difficulty. Some of this is because of the fast-paced wave gameplay that perfectly fits my skill set, but I also think the difficulty is highly overrated. Isotope. I verified this extreme demon difficulty layout in an open verification from Purell. I also fluked most of the last wave, which carries the level, and somehow beat it. Unfortunately, my clipping wasn't on, but I re-verified it the next day. Prismatic. My completion video for this has 17,000 views for no reason, making it the third most viewed video of the level, and surpassing completion videos by Zeronium, Technical, Smithy777, and even the verifier of the level. Similar to Allegiance, I also beat this at the last minute before I had to leave for a vacation. Sonic Wave. I beat this on stream about 4 months ago, and it is still my hardest to this day. I also had 25,000 attempts on this, with 20,000 being old attempts from me messing around and trying to do runs on my old 60Hz computer. Sekupen Heck. I had always had some small runs on the level and a bunch of old attempts, but I had never thought to go for it until I wanted to improve my wave skills for a Purell Wave Challenge tournament, and I thought this level had very challenge-like gameplay, so I beat it. I also didn't have a reaction when I beat it because people were sleeping in my house and I wasn't even in a call. Niwa. I did not die to the last ship or last click like most people do. I had expected to die there after hearing about my friend's experience who died to the ending over 45 times somehow. I also learned this level way faster than I expected and knew the whole level within 15 minutes of picking it up, which I usually can't do for flow extremes. Sunburn. I learned a few parts of the level and did 2 practice runs, but then I randomly got 29 to 100 on accident while I was trying out the 29% part. I barely even knew how to play the rest of the level and got extremely lucky. That run kind of forced me to go for the level before I decided for myself. I also did an extra unnecessary jump at the 62% cube section for whatever reason that I had never done before from zero, and I beat the level on that attempt. Marlboro Reds. I went for this a long time ago when it first came out and loved playing it, but started getting the worst luck with the end, and it caused me to hate the level because I was dying to a bunch of bugs and annoying clicks. Luckily, I came back later and beat it quickly and restored some of my liking for the level. Another thing about this completion was that my recording didn't have clicks because GeForce Experience was on the wrong microphone for no reason, but it still somehow recorded the audio from my Discord call. Aftermath. I had a very off and on experience playing this level, and I dropped it 3 times before I finished it off. I also died to the same easy ship click at 85% that EVW died to when beating it. Milo. I beat this unexpectedly on the same day as I beat Aftermath. Another fact about my completion is that when I was at 80% on the attempt where I beat the level, my mom came into the room and was asking me to do something, and I couldn't really respond to her because I was so focused on the level, and she kept asking me throughout the whole ending section, and I barely kept my focus. Aura. This was the unluckiest experience I have ever had on a level, dying 37 times past 50, and 9 times to the ending. After playing the level for about a week, I had had enough of playing it and decided to stream the level to finish it off for good. But all I did was get even more unlucky, and I eventually had to end the stream without the completion. I beat the level early into the next day's playing session. Disastrous Downpour. Even though the level is very similar to Aura gameplay-wise, I got really lucky on it and only died to the second half 5 times, with the worst death of 79%. This was also one of the only levels that gave me issues with lag, as my computer doesn't usually lag on Geometry Dash levels, and I can run Edge of Destiny at a stable 360 FPS. To this day, I don't know what caused it, but that level messed with my FPS really badly. Zoom. One of my friends tried to go for the level after seeing me play it, but dropped it as soon as I beat it. I also got confused at the last ship on the attempt I beat it, and thought I had died but didn't, and barely recovered, and I still don't know how I beat it then. Acropolix. I died to 97% at the last gravity portal wave spam, and I didn't know how to react when I beat it, so I just said I verified the golden, let's go. Penumbrae. I somehow beat this level while in recovery from a surgery, and I also beat it on the attempt I dedicated to Arby's after seeing the Anathema completion.
This attempt is dedicated to Arby's.
Red World Rebirth. I expected the level to be free and thought I might be able to beat it in one day, but I had really bad luck and it took me over 5 days to finish it off because I could only focus on the level for 20 minutes before I would lose consistency. I also died to 78% once because of a brain fart and I forgot where to go in the ship and took the wrong route. Hidden in the Sand. My friend Jagger C said like and subscribe before my auto deafen turned on the attempt I beat the level.
Alright guys, before we auto deafen, make sure to like and subscribe.
After that, I was given an unnamed challenge by my friend that we decided to name Subscribe Chamber, and I included the verification in my Hidden in the Sand completion video. Bangarang. I started doing runs on this on the day it got raided, but the next day it turned Insane Demon, and I stopped playing it. It later turned back to Extreme Demon, and I went for it again and beat it, but it turned back to Insane Demon the day after I beat it. It has since gone back to Extreme Demon, and it doesn't seem like it will change anytime soon. I also almost fluked the level from 60, but I died to the second to last click. Future Demon Machine. I almost fluked it from 67%, but I died to the last ship at 92 and raged. I also later found out that I had been doing the last wave duel wrong, and it was way easier than I thought, so I beat the level the next time I got there by using the new strategy. Downbase. I fluked it from 38%, which I am pretty sure is the world record fluke on the level. I also reluctantly went for it because Purell kept telling me to beat it and I didn't have anything else to go for. I Hate Ren. I never died to the really hard last 2 clicks that everyone dies to, and I also unironically hated playing the level, and had a bad experience with it, even though I had loved all the other Ren extremes I have beaten. Cat Planet. I wanted to beat this as my hardest on 60 Hz after Deception Dive, but had trouble with the waves, so I dropped it. I also have the 7th most liked comment on the level that currently has 250 likes, and says like for Extreme Demon, dislike for Insane Demon, ignore for Auto. This was from back when the level first came out and people rated it Insane Demon because the beginning is easy. Deflective. I got 67% on my second dropped attempt because I forgot what to do at one of the dash orbs in the wave. I also blindly went for this level because one of my friends told me it was really good, but I hated it and later found out it is one of the most unpopular extreme demons, and many people have issues with it. Precipitants. I expected to hate the level from what I had heard about it, but actually enjoyed playing it because of how consistent and easy it was. I also attempted to beat it in Globed with a friend right after my completion, but I died to a choke point at 79%, and we never went back to it. Voided. I never died past 72%, and I had always wanted to go for it but kept delaying it because I was afraid to learn the fast gameplay that wasn't even that bad when I finally did it. Roby. I was not very focused while beating this because I thought it was so easy, so I ended up dying to the ending because I wasn't even getting nervous or caring when I get far. This caused me to die to the last click, which is only a triple spike, twice. I also originally thought this level was Insane Demon, but I am now unsure after the bad luck I had with the end. The Ultimate Demon. I beat this without clipping on, but got 90% about 5 attempts later, and rebeat it the next attempt. I also thought the level was free, and barely find it to be Extreme Demon difficulty, even though many people think it's hard. Redemption. I almost fluked it from 47 out of nowhere when I was doing a couple of attempts to show my IRL friend Geometry Dash, but he had no idea that I was far and kept talking to me. I also had clipping off then, so I'm kinda glad I died to 85%. I also only took 390 attempts on it, which is the least amount of attempts I have taken to beat an Extreme Demon. Proteus. I beat it in 2 hours, which is the fastest amount of time I have taken to beat an Extreme. I also got a new best of 73% as a fluke from 47 by dying to an easy buffer click that I didn't know you could buffer, so I tried to time it and died. That concludes this list, and I would like to thank all of you who stayed until the end because I greatly appreciate it. I spent weeks writing the script and had a lot of fun putting together these facts. Hopefully you take something from this video, whether it is inspiration to try a new Extreme Demon or just a funny fact you want to share with your friends. If you enjoyed this video or relate to any of this, remember to like and subscribe below because that is the best way you can support me and this video so more people can watch it. I can't wait to see you in the next video.